Hi, this is the first session of yoga. This is going to be exercises. In the beginning, we are going to just try to explain the basis. So just try to follow, don't go too far away. Try to be really precise in what you do. Like I'm going to explain a lot of things, so you can correct yourself, because I'm not there to see what you're doing. So maybe using the mirror is not a bad idea. So let's start and have fun. So we are going to be just standing on the heels. So it's the posture of the mountain Tadasana, but it's the question of standing, just standing in balance between the two heels. All your weight is in the heels. Don't let your weight come in the front of the foot. Keep your weight in the heels. Keep the pelvis a little bit on the back. Don't let it come on the front. This brings your weight in the front of the foot. Just keep all your weight on the heels. Try to connect the head to the heels. Try to feel this connection between the head, the crown of the head, and the heels. All the weight on the heels. And second thing you're gonna do is you're gonna push your big toe towards the floor. This action is going to bring an action here in the hips. The hips are going to try to rotate internally. And keep the action of pushing the big toe on the floor. Third action you're gonna do, you're gonna try to lengthen the mat between the heels. It's like I'm going to push the floor away between my heels. I want to create a tension between my heels, and this is going to bring a tension in your hips. So keep these three actions. You push your heel towards the floor, you push your big toe towards the floor, and you try to create tension between the heels. And this is going to be transferred in your hips. Try to connect the crown of the head with your heels. Keep all the weight in hips, all the weight. And try to feel what's happening in the body. Try to feel what's happening in the deep tissues, like all around the hips, all around the feet, in the legs, in the shins, in the calves. Try to feel the differences between the right and the left. And just be there, standing in balance. This is going to bring a lot of effort in the hips. Just try to sense what's happening, to experience these actions. And then you release the actions. You see, we didn't move at all, but we have done a lot of things. We are going to try to come in a balance in one foot. So this is going to be an action that brings all my weight in the center of my left foot, for example, in the center of my left heel, if I have to be clear. So what I'm going to do is I'm pushing the mat far away in the right, and this brings my pelvis in the left. And I'm going to push the big toe on the floor. So this is going to activate all the tonicity of the leg. And then I can release the other leg and take the ball to make a little bit of a massage for the sole. And you can make a little circles or eights, or the infinity symbol, for example, or maybe little hearts, or maybe little stars. But voila, have fun. The question is not to do repetitive actions, because we are not conscious when we do this. We have to keep the concentration in what we do, everywhere in the body. For example, here I am doing circles, and in the other leg I am pushing the big toe on the floor. I am pushing the sole, the heel on the floor, and this question of pushing the heel on the floor, it's not just that all the weight is in the heel. It's also the action of pushing the heel on the floor. It activates the rear of the leg, all the posterior chain, and is going to bring you a lot of efforts here in the quad. You are going to feel it. Try to keep your pelvis balanced, horizontal, and in front of you. Don't let it turn. This is going to keep all the length of the body, the length of the spinal zone, also the length of your front, back and front body. And then when you see that it's starting to feel tired here, you put your sole on the floor, the other one, and you push yourself towards the other heel. So it's your back heel that pushes you towards your front heel. You're not falling on the ball, you're just pushing yourself towards the heel, and then if you want, you can push the ball towards the floor, but it's in a voluntary action. It's not just falling on the ball. I push myself towards the heel. I am staying in balance in my front heel, and then I push the ball on the floor. It's not uncontrolled. It's really harmonious. I push myself in front, and then my front heel pushes me in the back heel. My back heel pushes me towards the front heel, and I repeat. And this makes you use your posterior chain, the propulsion that wants you to go in front. It's your back heel that wants you to go in front. Then you push yourself in the back. You can let the ball, you put the feet in the same level, and you keep the external edge of the feet parallel. The external edge of the feet parallel to one another, or also parallel to the axis of the body, which means center of the face, center of the chest, nombril, and the floor. Feel a little bit what's happening, what has changed in your legs, and then you can go to the other side. You push yourself to your heel. The heel pushes yourself to the heel. And then you take the ball when you are in balance. And you can do a little bit of massage for your sole. Now we are on the left sole. You do some circles. It's alright to do circles. When you change, you can bring your knee in the exterior or in the interior. So this mobilizes the hip in its rotation. Just try to feel what's happening. Push your heel on the floor, push the big toe on the floor. This is going to mobilize all the leg, tonify all the leg. You're going to feel your hamstrings contracted. You're going to feel the quadriceps in lengthening. You're going to feel many tensions here around the hip. It's because they are trying to keep your pelvis horizontal, to keep it in balance. You can do some circles, some eights also. And then you put your heel on the floor and you push yourself towards the heel. And then you re-push yourself in the back towards the heel. So it's an action between the two heels only. It's not an action that brings me back falling on my foot and not in front falling on my foot. It's only an action between the two heels. I keep the big toe pushing the floor in the back, and in the front I want to grab the ball. So if I try to grab the ball, I am making place between the metatarsals. These are the metacarpians. And like this, you can do a little bit of a massage for the sole. It brings a lot more tonicity on the sole, both soles, and it makes the legs react a lot better. Like if you work many hours standing up, this is something you should do very often, every day, I would say, because it can bring the energy in the right channel and not the energy going anywhere else. This means problems. Energy that goes somewhere it's not meant to means problems. Mostly because we have resistance. So you bring yourself in the back, you feel once more what's happening between the differences between the right leg and the left leg. Take your time, just take your time to feel what's happening. Feel your knees, feel what's happening in the quads, in the hamstrings. Feel what's happening in the two sides of your pelvis, in the front and in the back. Try to see if respiration is alright, if it's free, or if there's something that's blocking you from inspiring or from expiring. And then we are going to use the inclined plane. So our second most important exercise is the exercise with this plan. which is going to help us activate the posterior chain. And this I'm going to explain you in the profile. So you are going to see the differences when I mean put your weight on the heel. Is something blocking? Maybe I will put the bricks a little bit in the back. You stand before in front of the plank, and you come in a balance like we did for the ball. You push yourself from one heel to the other. When you find that you are well placed in the other heel and the leg is free, then we put it on the inclined plane, and we have to be careful to keep the exterior of the foot parallel to the axis of the body. So you push yourself towards your heel, and then you put your heel on the plane. You push yourself at first towards your heel, always. When you find that it's not possible to flex the ankle more, you stop and you raise the back heel to push yourself towards your front heel. Just be careful not to fall on the front of the foot. Stay on the heel, put all your weight on the heel, and with time you are going to be able to come straight. But this is going to need time, because you really have to stay on your heel and not fall on the front. Falling on the front means I am going easily in an hyperextension of my knee, which means I am lengthening too much the ligaments of the knee. So I stay in the heel. I push my big toe towards the floor. This is going to help me give a little bit more of internal rotation in my hip. And I push a little bit myself towards my heel always. You can do this also with something else. You just put it on a brick, and then you can go and do the same thing. You see, you put it on a brick. It's sufficient for now to do it like this. This is a little bit more, this one, but it's maybe difficult for many people even to stay on the heels. People who use heels, high heels, for example, shoes with heels, it's maybe difficult even standing like this with anything else. So you just go little by little. Maybe you will start here with a little bit of inclination. Maybe you will start there, and maybe you are going to be able to go there, but this is going to take some time. It's not necessary to do it really fast. So you are in an equilibrium. You put your heel and you push yourself towards the heel. So I hope for now you are going to find a solution for the material. If not, you can use a book that is a little bit thick, and you do this. You put your heel on the floor and you put the heads of the metatarsals on the brick, and you push the book or the brick towards the floor with your big toe, always staying on the heel and not in the front of the foot. Always staying with all the weight on the heel, and little by little you are going to be able to come straight. So for the moment we are maybe just going to stop here for the one side. You can also stop the video, find something quickly and restart later, but just stay a couple of minutes here. Don't just change directly. Try to keep your pelvis facing front. Don't let it turn. Try to keep your pelvis horizontal also. Don't let it fall or lift from the other side. Just keep this stable. This is going to keep the visceral zone stable and also your respiration. And then you can come back. You can come back on the two heels again and feel the difference between the right and the left, the leg that has been on the plane and the other one. And then we are going to change the leg, so we are going to come in a balance in the other side. Once I have freed my left leg, I can put my left heel on the plane and I push myself towards my left heel, and then I push myself more and more and more towards my left heel. In one moment I will have all my weight, practically all my weight on the left heel. I push the left big toe on the floor. Just pay attention to this question of staying in the back of the heel and pushing your big toe on the plane, which is going to save you from blocking your knee. This blocking your knee, it's not good for you, it's bad. It destabilizes the knee in the long term. There is many people that walk like this all the time, blocking the knees all the time, and then there are many problems in the knees, and we don't understand why. Well, this is an answer. There are many answers maybe, but this one is quite a big answer, we must say. And just try to stabilize this, the tensions you feel, the heat you feel, the lengthening. Try to feel also in the same time what is happening with breathing. Are you breathing freely? Is your belly free, or are you contracting your belly? You should let your belly free normally. You let your straight abdominal take its length and not contract it all the time, because this blocks the respiration, and we are trying to breathe normally here. So just try to keep all your weight in the heel. You can stay inclined in the beginning. It's not important to come straight. In the beginning we can stay like this, it's alright. The importance here is to be stable in the posture and not to fall every 3 seconds and restart. So this is going to be enough. you put yourself on your heels again and try to feel what's happening. We are going to come towards a posture which is called the posture of the chair, and there is a triple flexion in the ankles, in the knees, and in the hips. So when I do a triple action in the ankles, in the knees, and in the hips, just try not to forget the hips. I see many people doing this. So this is not it. You flex the hips. There is a flexion here. There are 3 flexions, and it's the ankles that are going to tell you which is the limit. And then you stay there. You stay with all your weight in the heels. You push the big toe on the floor, but you don't have any weight on the big toe. If I want, I can lift the big toe. If I want, I can push the big toe. There is no weight in the big toe. There is only weight on the heel. But I push the big toe so I can activate the interior of the legs. I leave my belly alone. I don't contract it. I leave the respiration alone. I don't limit it. And I can stand there. I can stay there. And this is what I need to activate my legs also. And you can stay here as long as it takes. So you feel there is a moment when you feel that there is a little bit of pain in the right or in the leg, in the left. So try to balance, to put both in both sides the same amount of weight. And when you have sensed that it's equal, then you can stay more. If you feel a little bit of pain more in the right or in the left, it's maybe because one side is not used to work and the other side is used to work more than this one. So try to put things in a balance. Feel what's happening in your belly. Feel what's happening. If it's alright or if you contract it. Normally you shouldn't. And we can also connect the crown of the head with the heels. And then you push yourself in a triple extension. Now this is a flexion. This is an extension. This is an extension. This is a flexion. This is an extension. This is a flexion. But we don't speak in the same way for the shoulder. I'm going to explain this. The flexion, the extension, the flexion, the extension, the flexion, the extension. This is as simple as that. We are going to speak about flexion a little bit in the hips. So when we have a flexion in the hips, it's the hip joint. We are speaking about the hip joint. This is a flexion. You can take a stick if you want. So a flexion in the hip is made by the hip flexors, which means if these muscles here don't work, I cannot lift my leg. I'm not doing with my belly. I'm not doing this. The belly becomes short. I'm doing only with my hip flexors, only. And there is a limit. So we just have to understand the difference between all this. And this is why I'm going to use gravity to flex my hip. So to use gravity, I will put all my weight in my heels all my weight, I will push the big toe on the floor and I will create a tension between the heels. And I will let my pelvis go far away, far away, far away. So the idea of flexing in front, of doing something like gardening or like, I don't know, working in the land, sweeping, I don't know, many things. It's a question of flexing in the hips and not in the back. Not in the back. So I will not let my pelvis go like that. I will bring my pelvis in its right position, relatively with the back. And maybe I'm gonna just stop here. You see, the important is here in the back of the lumbar zone, not to feel the vertebra, but to feel the muscles from both sides. So if I have to show you this, it's like here you don't have this, but you have the muscles from the both sides, and it's really on very, very low, really low, not here, very, very low, only here. So you control, you put your hand on the back and you feel what's happening, and you feel if you have stability or if you are letting your back fall behind, and this is not good for your back. So you stop there or here or maybe even here. The important is to keep this geometry in the back, to take all your weight on your heels and to push the big toe on the floor. And then it's going to be a question of time. So you can go maybe in 90 degrees, but not much more, because there is a limit between the bone of the hip and the pelvis. You keep your knees a little bit flexed. You don't block your knees behind. You just push your heel on the floor to straighten a little bit more your knee, but don't block your knee. And you stay there. Feel what's happening in the back of your legs. It can be really annoying in the beginning, but once you find balance, there is one part of your mass that is behind your heels and the other part of your mass that is in front of your heel. And once you find balance between the two, you don't feel so much the difficulty of being in the posture. But in the beginning, you can just stop here. It's all right, as far as you have this geometry in the back. So it's not for nothing that I came in the camera to show you this. And you come straight and feel a little bit what's happening. Feel a little bit what's happening in the legs, in your belly, in the cage. What's happening with your breathing. So it's really important to feel what's happening. The body, it learns from this. And also it can say what's not going on very well in the right side or in the left side. So you have to give it time. We are going to take the feet apart like 1 meter, it's alright. And always keep all your weight on the heels. Pay attention not to fall in the inside of your sole, but take all the weight on the heel, push the big toe on the floor, and this is going to activate the sole and lift it. Try mostly to bring the weight in the external side of your heel and feel in one diagonal connection between the exterior of your knee and your big toe. So you see, I have forgot a lot of my English, but because I'm going to use it now, it's gonna come back. And don't forget to stay on your heel, don't forget to push your big toe on the floor, stay there. See if you are blocking your knees, don't block your knees. See if you are not letting your shoulders come in the back and not your pelvis. Let your pelvis go on the back. Keep your shoulders a little bit on the front. It's more important here to be stable and not to change the geometry of the back of the body, of the back of the spine. Don't keep this geometry stable. Keep a lumbar spine stable. This is going to keep all the rest of the spine in stability. This is why we have to stay on the heel and a little bit inclined. It's a kind of a bow. So you stay on your heel. You push your big toe on the floor. Don't block your knees. What we are going to do we are going to go in a triple flexion once more. Stay on your heel. It's not important how far we go. The importance is to stay only with your heels really stable, with the action of pushing the big toe really stable. This is going to bring a lot of work in the legs. Just feel this work. We can a little bit work with the arms. You can make little circles with your elbows, but little circles, this is not necessary. What we are going to do here is really little circles to feel what's happening in the shoulder joints. And here you can feel your arm joints, your arm bone to your shoulder bone, that is making little movements. Then you can bring your elbows in the front, towards the front, making little circles, very little circles. Keep your shoulders stable. It's only the arms here that are moving. And then we can bring the elbows higher, open in the sides, bring them back again, and do great circle. Stay with the triple flexion, stay with your heels really on the floor, all the weight on your heels. Don't let this happen. Don't let your arms bring your back towards the front, but keep the back stable. This is Yogi. Guli. And that is Bobby, who is going to help us explain some things sometimes. And then you can also try to put your hands very far away, one from the other. Open your palms. Keep the elbows a little bit flexed. Don't block the elbows. Stay in the triple flexion. Just try to open the elbows. Create the energy. Don't block the elbows. Keep them a little bit flexed. Keep the elbows relatively down. Don't let them go in the back, but keep them towards the floor. And then we are just going to catch the big finger with the other ones and turn the hands towards the floor. And then you can try to bring your big finger far away, the one from the other. Feel the tension in the arms. Take care also of your heels. Always the weight in the heels. And then you can let the arms in the two sides of the body. We are going to flex in front. So it's going to be a flexion only in the hips. Same thing, we stay stable here. It's a flexion only in the hips. Stay with all the weight on the heels. You push the big toes towards the floor. You keep the geometry of the back the same. Don't change your lumbar spine as descending. Just stay stable. Let your belly participate in breathing. You can exhale with your transverse abdominal and let it be just to bring in air and not inhalation forcefully. So you try to just bring your pelvis towards the back. This is going to make you flex your hips and come really low. So this, we are going to stop here. We are not going very far away in the flexion, but here it's already a lot. Maybe it's here it's okay. You see, you can also take a brick. So take a brick or a chair or something else, and you put a little bit of your weight on your hands, but not so much. Keep your elbows flexed, and you can push the crown of your head away from the coccyx to lengthen the back, to lengthen your neck. And stay there, stay with all your weight on the heels. push the big toes on the floor. Don't forget, all the time you push the big toes on the floor. Feel what's happening with your respiration, the exhalation, the inhalation. Is it changing the sensations in the back? Is it changing the sensations in the legs? It is possible, but you can feel always more and more by repeating and by being present also. Think that can happen also when we are present in a situation. Being present brings comprehension, brings attention, brings intelligence. So also brings harmony. And then we are maybe going to come down a lot more, but this is going to take some time, so you can come back. You put your feet together, feel what's happening in the legs. This is really preparation. You are going to see if we do this often, you are going to have many changes in your feet, in your ankles, in your posterior and anterior chains of muscles. We are going to we have worked a little bit in the posterior chain, like the calf, the arms, hamstrings. Now we are going to work a little bit in the front, in the quads. So a very good exercise for the quads is just making a step on the back. Like if I am here, I can do a little step. I bring myself in a balance in the left leg. I change nothing in my body. I stay on my left leg in a balance. I just try to bring my fingers, the fingers of my right leg, behind me, and then like I want to push the mat towards the front. I bring myself towards the back leg. Pay attention to take to put your outer edge of the foot parallel to your axis, and then I will push myself towards my right heel. So I am pushing with my left heel all the weight of my body towards my right heel. And once I feel that I have enough weight on my right heel, maybe most of the weight on my right heel, then I'm going to try to do one thing. I'm going to try to extend my hip by extending my knee. Maybe this is not very obvious in this side, so I'm going to do it in the other side. What I do, I come in a balance. I put my fingers on the floor, I push myself towards my heel, and then I have my knee that is flexed. My heel is not so much extended. I will try to extend it more. So what I do in the beginning, I bring all my weight on my heel, and then I push my heel towards the floor. This is going to bring extension. Look at this. It's like I am using my hamstrings to extend here my hip, to bring my hip on extension. to bring an extension in the quad. And I can also try to bring my crown, the crown of the head, towards the back and towards the ceiling, not towards the floor, towards the ceiling. Keeping the heel on the floor, keeping the weight on the heel, pushing the heel towards the floor to open my hip. You will feel here an activation, and you continue pushing your big toes on the floor, both sides, and you continue keeping your weight on your heels, both sides. I push my heel on the floor. This is it. If I push my heel on the floor, I'm going to extend here. If I don't push my heel on the floor, this is not going to happen. I don't have any energy here in the side. Is it all right? And then I can come back in the front, both legs. And what I'm gonna do, so we do this both legs. What I did before, you bring your fingers, you bring your heel, you push yourself towards the heel, and then you push the heel on the floor to extend the hip. You push the crown of the head towards the ceiling and towards the back. And that's it. And you stay. So if you stay, you can stay a lot, you can stay not so much. Like 1 minute is not so much. A lot is 3 or 4 minutes. A lot. It's okay. But just try to keep active the pushing of the big toe on the floor, the pushing of the heel on the floor, and the pushing of the head towards the ceiling and towards the back. This is going to bring a lot more extension in the quad. And maybe later we can come a lot more towards the back, but later. And then we come in the back. What we're gonna do, you put yourselves, you sit on the knees, sit on the knees as much as you can on the back of the knees. And we are going to do a second exercise for the quadriceps, for the quads, which is going to be just a little step on the front. So if I'm here, I change nothing in the posture of my pelvis and back. I bring myself in a balance in my left heel, and then I bring the right heel towards in front of me, and I will push the mat away from me with my right heel, and then I will push the mat behind me with the left knee. So I'm going to try to find the balance between these two actions. I push myself towards the back, I push myself towards the front. This is two actions. I try to find balance. Keep your pelvis horizontal, keep your pelvis facing front. You can also try to see if your shoulders are in the same level by trying to touch the bricks, for example. If the bricks are in the same distance, then it's all right. And try to keep these two actions very, very, very active, very. It's really important to put some energy in there. If you put energy, then something is happening. If there's nothing, there's not gonna be an evolution. So it's up to you. If you want an evolution, you put energy. If you don't, you change completely yoga sessions, because here you're not going to have fun finally. So this is really what we need to do so the body can work normally. We need to give freedom to the back, freedom of the actions of the legs and of arms. Once you feel tired of these actions, we come back. We sit on the heels. Try to feel the sides, what's happening. You can stay more. Normally, you should stay a lot more in this type of exercise. You can start by 2 minutes and then go to 8 or 10 minutes. But maybe also you can change leg in the 5 minutes and then redo once more, or change exercise. But we are going to do all this later. You come back, equilibrium or balance in the right knee. You bring the left foot in front and you push yourself towards the back with your front knee. You push yourself towards the front with your back knee. And then you find balance. You pay attention to keep your pelvis facing front. You pay attention to keep your pelvis horizontal. Pay attention also to keep your heel in the back a little bit towards the right, not towards the center of the body. This will help the position of the hip. It will help the alignment of the straight femoralis. I don't know if it's really like this, but it's one of the quads muscles that is attached in the pelvis and in the shin bone, on the tibia. So you push yourself continuously towards the back and you push yourself continuously towards the front. You find this balance, you keep the actions, you meet, you let them meet. And this is what's going to work. This is how you stay in a posture. This is an action that you have in the first warrior in yoga. This action of the legs. Front leg pushes you towards the back, back leg pushes you towards the front. And you keep the balance. A warrior who is ready to go towards the enemy and ready to come back. But there is balance. And then you come on your knees, feel the difference, feel the sensations, what's happening both sides. Feel what's happening both sides. You can find differences in the belly. You can find differences in the respiration. Maybe in the face also, the eyes, the nose, the bones here around, and the muscles also. All these differences that are effects of the posture. So the body needs to understand what's an effect of a certain posture, and when it needs it, it can use it, and it's not going to be processed here. But in the beginning we have to help it because we have forgotten. So we are going to do one last thing. So you come on your knees. Nothing changes. My back is erect. I come back here. My back is same position, same geometry. I bring myself in a balance in the left knee, and I can bring my foot away. I keep my heel on the floor. I keep the big toe that pushes towards the floor. I will put my right hand in the inside of the right knee, and the left hand is going to go towards the ceiling and not so much towards the right. You keep your shoulder on the back, you keep your elbow facing left, and here what we want to do is create length all here, all the left side and also in the right side. It's like I'm just trying to do this with the mobility in the legs and not falling on my rib cage. And this hand can help me face a little bit the ceiling. Breathe in your kidneys. Feel what's happening. Pay attention to your knee. Don't block your knee. And then you can come in the middle to sit, to feel the differences. Don't take your time to feel the differences, and then we come back. Equilibrium or balance in the right side, in the right knee. So you have to take the time that's needed to be in a balance. What does this mean? It means to keep your pelvis facing front, to keep your pelvis in an horizontal line, to keep your belly in peace, not contracted. Which means bring a little bit of flexion in the hip, and then when you are in this balance, you can come and put your other leg away from you in the mat, heel on the floor and big toe on the floor, and here you are always in a balance. So I put my left hand in the inside of the left knee, and I'm going to try to bring length in the other side, but I don't create compression here. Try to keep these actions. I push my left knee towards the back. Keep your shoulder on the back. Don't bring it here before you. You can look in your hand, or maybe you can look in the front. It's alright. What's gonna happen is a little bit more of flexion in this side and an extension in this side. Feel what's happening with your breathing. Try to feel what's happening with inhale. Place inhale where you need space, and place movement in the exhale. Where do you need space? You need space in the hips, most probably. And then you come back in the center. You feel what's happening in the two sides. And you are free to make a little bit of a Savasana. Savasana, which is just laying down. Just laying down, doing nothing. Well, you will try to place yourselves well, firstly, so you can do this with an internal rotation of the hips. You catch your big toes, the one with the other, and you create a tension between them. It's like you want to give distance between your toes, but they are not letting you. So it will bring some distance between your heels. And then you are going to bring your arms in an external rotation and try to create a tension on the mat. And then you release everything. This is going to place correctly the back of your spine. And you can sit like that correctly. Sit. Lay down. And you can stay here. You feel what's happening both sides, how the body is reacting after what you did. Where are maybe tensions, resistance. Take your time to feel all this, and I will tell you, I would say, see you soon, and repeat. These sessions are made to be repeated in the weeks that are coming, in the week that is coming at least, because the next one is going to be a lot more evolved, the other one a little more evolved, and like this it's going to bring us in a certain level, but gradually. And this is why I do it every week, one more session every week. This can give you a practice for the next, I don't know how many times I'm going to do it, but normally I do it for my friends so they can find some more better health. So I'm going maybe to do 10 or maybe more videos, and it's a good chance to start yoga really precisely and really yoga. So see you soon. Bye.